Welcome back everybody, let's have a look at Matic then, shall we? So we love Matic on this channel, we all love Matic, and I know Matic gets a bad rap, but I still love it, and why wouldn't you? Because he's been making some brilliant moves recently, so it's taken a massive dump. All of you will probably know that if you're watching this channel, so and obviously watching this video, you're probably a little bit worried about what's going on. A lot of people might have bought around these levels, and I wouldn't have blamed you either, because it still looks quite good, in all fairness. The chart doesn't look like it's over yet, don't worry about it. I think there's still plenty of room to be moving. So let's have a quick recap about what's been going on recently. So this from top to bottom, people may have lost from today as much as 15%. That is sad. From top to bottom, from yesterday to where it hit, they might have lost 20%. This is why you should never margin trade Matic. There's no need, absolutely no need, unless you want to short it, and then you know you're good on balls of steel. So just there's really no need. But you know that's for you to decide. It's not for me to tell you. I wouldn't do it, and I've got a fair bit of experience, and I wouldn't do it. Absolutely not. In fact, it's the sort of thing that nightmares are made of. Never mind. Is it going to go back up again? Looking at this chart right now, I think it probably is. This is a nice big wick here from bottom to top. We crashed way further down than I would have liked to have seen, but in all fairness, we didn't crash massively. That was a 8% buyback already from that bottom wick to where we are as it stands at the moment, and we're back within this above the 27-cent margin, which is that area. And if you've not watched this video, watched any more Matic videos, I'll just let you know a quick thing. 27 cent corresponds to these two wicks here, these two candle bodies here, these two wicks here. A bit of a dance around this level, rejections around here, rejections around here. So if we can stay above it, it's everything to Matic. It means a great deal. Being above 27 cent means that it has a fighting chance of basically making an all-time high again. That's basically the way I see it. Between 27 to 29, 29 also has some relevance to it. 2 candle, 3 candle wick here, and then these two bodies around here. So between 27 and 29, which is basically where we are right now, so we're back into that zone. So no big deal. It's not the end of Matic until we're below there and getting rejected from there, basically. But that might not make it fill you with a great deal of confidence if you bought around these levels, and I can understand that. We've all felt the burn of decreasing fiat in a coin which is going down. We've all felt that, and I understand where you're coming from. The way I see Matic is that generally, you know, for what it's worth, I generally think that the price of it will increase and will see all-time highs, and I couldn't tell you exactly when that will be. That could be next week. You know how Matic works, but you will recoup that money. I'm confident of that, but I couldn't tell you exactly when. But what I'm telling you now is that it's not all over. So just to let you know, we have to look at Bitcoin, and as boring as that is, we have to look at it because it was Bitcoin that did this to Matic. All right, Matic didn't do this itself. Bitcoin did it. So let's have a look at the culprit, shall we, and work out what's going on with Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin's going to go up or down. We have to do it, and I'm sorry about that. So Bitcoin, just so you know, again, if you've watched my channel, I'm sorry for repeating myself, but we have this trend line up here, a very important, if not the most important, and I would say will probably continue to be a very important trend line for maybe indefinitely for Bitcoin. So all the way back down here, when Bitcoin, before its first parabolic move, we were rejected, then we were supported all this way, supported on these wicks, supported, rejected, rejected, and supported, and rejected, and then recently we were bumping our head up on that as rejection over and over and over again until pop. We popped up above it, and look what happened today. We came back down to be supported upon it, alright? So this trend line, as simple as it is, it represents a support and resistance that goes back in Bitcoin's history for 3 years, alright? It's been used, I'm not going to count all of those, but it's been used a lot of times, way more than most trend lines would ever be used, and it goes back so long. So it's clearly a big deal for Bitcoin, and the best thing is that when we came down to test it today, we bounced from it. Now you could also argue that we bounced from the 10 simple or the 10 exponential, which are all in this tiny little dotted area, causing a super resistance, alright? And we bounced from that super resistance. So whether that be the trend line, which is maybe just a coincidence, but again, you know, if it is a coincidence, it's a very, very lucky coincidence that I've been looking at that trend line for such a long time. You could also say that it was the 10 simple, which is the blue one here, which doesn't often get respected very well, but occasionally it does, or it's the 10 exponential, which is this fat orange one, which gets used and has been used a lot more recently and often gets used on an uptrend. So you can see bounce, 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 broke down from it here and supported on the center of the Bollinger Band, and then we came back above it, bounce, 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 and then bounce. So it probably was the 10 exponential in all fairness, but also that trend line does play a big role, whether that's support or resistance. So we're going to treat it as that as well. So what this means is that I am not bearish on Bitcoin, nor am I bearish on the market until it breaks down below this trend line and then shows that it's being rejected from it. For the moment, we're above it. We're almost above the blue box area here, which is the 12,050 area, which is what most people are trading it upon. Not many people are going up on this trend line. In fact, I don't spend much time watching other videos, but I've not seen anybody mention this once. I remember watching what's it called, The Moon, talking about how we're coming up here and we're going to launch from here, and then this massive thing happened, and he goes, I just don't understand how it happened, man. I didn't understand. I didn't see that coming. If you were watching this channel, we were waiting for that, and we were shorting on it. Some of us were anyway, not just with Bitcoin, but across the board we were shorting, because I was so confident in this trend line breaking down, and it did. I mean, look at that wick, and that's what basically happened. I took a short around this level. Obviously, I was getting a little worried, but my short from top to bottom came all the way down to where I said it was going to, around 10,500. Now I always front run these because it's a lock in profit, so I took in profit around 10,650. So like I say, this trend line means a big deal, and I'm willing to trade on it, and basically I'm willing to trade on it now. I'm willing to say that Bitcoin is looking extremely bullish, not only because we bounced from there, but because we've got this perfect spread, and this is the sort of thing I look for with moving averages. Absolute perfect spread, nicely diverging away from each other with the lowest time frames going right up to the shortest time frames. So that's a 200 simple, that's a 200 exponential, 100 simple, 100 simple, 50 simple, 50 exponential, 21 simple, then your 10s up there. Perfect, and this is what you want to see. And I said it on my XRP video, this is the sort of spread that I remember seeing when Ethereum was recently at 250, and I took one look at it and I was like, this is the chart, and traded that one big time on that. And I am going to do the same here. This is a buy entry, this is a long entry for me, not for you, because I'm not a financial advisor. You do what you want to do. This is what this is telling me. It's telling me, come here, test me here, I'll bounce for you here, and I will go to the moon, probably. And if I don't, and if I break down from here, I will have a stop loss just around about this level. And yes, I will take a hit, but it's a risk-reward strategy. You have to risk some capital in order for the reward. And the risk for me, coming down here and being liquidated around there, that's fine, when the reward is potentially around this level up here, around 14,000. So if Bitcoin is bullish, does that mean that Matic's bullish? Well, let's look at the Matic chart in itself. The Matic chart has a decent spread, similar to that of Bitcoin. It's definitely better actually looking at it here than XRP's. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. It's looking good, and we're above all of those major moving averages. In fact, we've still in positive territory, albeit we've got a negative histogram forming. We're still in positive territory with the MACD, which is good. The RSI's taken a dump down, which is fine, and it might, if it wanted to, it's got plenty of room to move to the up. Money flow index took a hit here, and that to me would have been a sell signal anyway, because that's quite high there. But anywhere away from there, even around this level, it's got room to move back up. This still looks like an alright chart to me. I would say that this almost certainly will go back up, probably sooner rather than later. Don't see a problem with it until we break down beneath the center of the Bollinger Band on the daily, which unfortunately would be within a different resistance support area down about this level, around about 23.73. That would be unfortunate for Matic, but again, so long as Bitcoin's holding above this level, the market remains bullish, and the market will play out as it wants to. But looking at the chart now, it does appear to me that Bitcoin wants to pump. It looks like it wants to pump any minute, which means it's likely, because I think it'll be a violent pump, and I think it will drain the sats from lots of coins. And sometimes when that happens at such a high velocity, draining sats will take actual value from Tether, because the systems get confused, and people start selling and going into Bitcoin. There's all kinds of reasons why it would do it, but Matic sats will likely drain, and it may take a toll on the Tether. But the chart itself looks okay for the moment. If Bitcoin can dance around this level, hang around this level, maybe even come down to test this, which will be a bit scary, but test this support a couple more times, then that might give us another reason to cheer for Matic. The Bitcoin dominance chart, I've not got it up here, but it's a bearish chart. Basically, it is very bearish, but we have moved about 1.5% on it today. Looks like we're being rejected from the first bearish moving average, but if we reclaim that, which is the 50 exponential on the daily, then there will be a turnaround, there will be a shift, and it might be that that's actually going to take place. But we'll have to see what happens over the next few days. This being what it is, people are probably going to be a little bit worried and a little bit wary, and Bitcoin might come down to test these levels and even break down to test the center of the Bollinger Band, being that around 11,650 or so. If that happens, then yeah, we will see more dumps, and we'll probably see more rise in Bitcoin dominance, and the inevitable will then take place, where Bitcoin rallies and everything else generally suffers for a short period of time. Anyway, that's all I've got for you on this. So like I say, I wouldn't be worried so much dumping down below, so long as we're closing candle bodies around above 2.7 cents. But the worst case scenario is if we break down beneath the center of the Bollinger Band on the daily. So that's all I've got for you. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice evening. Take it easy.